A senior Trump advisor is claiming that it is actually Kamala Harris and Tim Walz that are the real threat to democracy. Why? For apparently wanting more democracy.
I really don't want to get into too much specifics about what we're doing to specifically combat illegals on the roster, because again, that only opens the door for them to counteract it. Between Trump Force 47 and our Protect the Vote initiative, we are dedicated to protecting every legal vote. We are dedicating to mitigating threats against the voting process. Meanwhile, Walz yesterday is saying that we should eliminate the Electoral College. That we should count the popular vote in terms of determining our elections. You know, the Harris-Walz ticket continues to be the real threat to democracy.
You can't make that up. No, it's the people who are encouraging for real democracy that are the threat to democracy. What? they're out there literally saying Trump is the one to protect democracy. That's right. Wait, hold on. Whoa. While also saying that calling for the end of the Electoral College, which is not a democratic institution, by the way, that's the actual destruction of democracy. Isn't it funny that the Electoral College is the only college Republicans ever defend? Well, that's because it's not a real college. Well, no wonder. No reason. No wonder they love it. And here's the thing, though. The real reason that they will defend it is because if the elections were decided by the majority of the people, Republicans would lose. They would. We had two examples of that. 2000 and 2016, right? Where the candidate who lost the popular vote actually won the election. And they happened to be both Republicans, George W. Bush, 2000, and Donald Trump in 2016. Had we actually had democracy, yes, real democracy, then Trump would have never been president in the first place. And neither would have George W. Bush. Would have had Al Gore and Hillary Clinton. It's still better than what we had, all right? There's a good chance that we would have actually avoided going to war with Iraq. So avoiding that mess, that disaster, that debacle of years of endless war. But anyway, Republicans, they know this. They know that they don't have a good chance of winning the popular vote. So they rig the rules. Look at the gerrymandering, for example, in House districts, where you have red states. You have red legislatures that draw up these insane districts, right? Picking their own voters and making sure to exclude minorities, okay? Democrats also can benefit from gerrymandering. We've seen a couple of examples of that. But generally, these maps drawn up in red states are the reason that even if Democrats end up getting more votes in House races, Democrats still end up losing the House of Representatives. So that's pretty disastrous. Republicans, as I've mentioned before, don't actually care about democracy, which is why they love the current system, which is not a democratic system. It actually encourages voter suppression, like, for example, reading tests, poll taxes, registration requirements. Some of that stuff was ruled unconstitutional, but other stuff, like, again, with registration, we have. But some of the stuff that was more obvious, like disenfranchising specific groups of people, like women, people of color, that is the stuff that eventually had to get cracked down on because it was too undemocratic. But still, overall, the process of the Electoral College is also pretty undemocratic. It lowers turnout. Yeah. And not only that, but it also obscures methods of disenfranchisement, as the state's electoral count would still be the same regardless of turnout. They still get the same amount of Electoral College votes. That, to me, does not sound like democracy. And again, the truth is, we don't live in a democracy. We never have. I would like to change that. Republicans would like to keep it that way, because under the current system, they don't have to reach out to the majority of voters, okay? All they have to do is fight over just a couple of swing states, okay? And as long as they have their base and they keep their base happy and restrict others from voting, they're going to keep being able to win and be competitive because of the way the system is structured. Okay? That said, they're not just content with keeping the system the same, they also try to cheat the system. Like, for example, with 2020 and with Trump's fake electors that he used to try to steal the election. They were pledged to him regardless of the results of the election in their states. So those fake electors, some of them might actually end up being electors this time. So that is pretty dangerous, okay, and disastrous. So to hear the Trump campaign claiming that, oh no, see, we are the real protectors of democracy. We got to protect it from the illegals. The illegals voting. The undocumented immigrants don't vote. They don't. The undocumented immigrants, illegal immigrants, whatever you want to call them, they don't vote. They're not legally allowed to vote. And when they vote, they get caught. If there was a problem with illegal voters, then the system would have caught them because it's actually really good at catching them. Even the Heritage Foundation found less than 100 instances of non-citizens that voted in elections. Okay, less than 100 over the last, it was between 2000 and 2022, okay, where they looked at the years and found less than 100 cases of non-citizen voting. So this is out of 1 billion votes cast between those years in all those different elections. This is not a problem. This is not a real issue, but Republicans continue to run on it because, well, we're going to scare people. Plus, it allows us to do policy prescriptions that actually do disenfranchisement of actual American voters, people that are minorities, people that are, students, etc. It allows us to make rules that are a bit more onerous and for the average person who's not retired to have to vote because, they've got to go to work or they got family obligations and things like that. And there's only one day to vote, okay? Only one day to show up in person and vote. There is early voting that you can do, yes. And so there are ways that Democrats have tried to get around a lot of those restrictions, but Republicans continue to fight against that as well to make sure that there are as many restrictions as walls that they can put up, in order to try to lower the turnout. Because once again, when there's more turnout, when there's actual more democracy, Republicans lose. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.